It's not even up for debate. The NFC East is the best division in football, and everyone knows that. And it just got better.
Defending the whole division?
I mean, yeah,
we respect the Eagles and the Commanders and the Giants is what you're saying?
Respect is not the word. There's another word.
Really?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back yet again, the most consistent stream of YouTubers on live video. Clickbait Sports is back with the whole crew. Scooter Magruder coming live from Orlando, Florida. We also have 5 Points Vids. 5, what's going on?
The Giants cooked in the draft. That's all I got to say. And
why
we will talk about this in the show, but the Giants cooked.
I saw it happen in real time. Cooked. Joining us as well, we have former NFL Fan of the Year, TDG, Grassi, Posse in the building. Tom, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm very, very good. Yeah, things are going well. Working on scripted and also preparing to go away for a month. So just trying to book all that stuff.
Radu is on the way. To his right, we have none other than the legendary 6'6" Brandon Perna. How are we doing, Brandon?
The world is easy up here from 6'6" in America. Pretty good. There's a lot of work this draft, and I'm tired. I'm burnt out.
That's fair.
Yeah. First time in 13, 14 years, I feel burnt out.
Really? I'm surprised.
Well, off-season is upon us. You'll have ample time to rest up. And last but not least, joining us, it is Urinating Tree, where the NFL draft was held in your backyard. Let's start there. Tell us about this draft experience IRL with 5.
Well, we stayed day one. We stayed in my house because I was hoping to be able to go on Radio Row for this draft. We couldn't get the permissions. Plus, the internet connectivity was going to be a massive issue. But in terms of day 2 and 3, the actual experience was phenomenal. I believe the NFL in Pittsburgh did a really good job with everything they built up. I know it was actually divided by a river, but they had a Gateway Clipper shuttles going consistently throughout. They had everything to do. They showcased Lombardi trophies. Everything was really accessible. You had everything spread out throughout as well. The only problem was it kind of had a hard time really letting you out, so you couldn't really explore the city per se. But otherwise, I think, as I said, it was a great experience. I mean, we met a lot of people down there, a lot of networking contacts too, as well as just, as I said, I didn't do the kicking competition. I was tempted.
What would you say was the highlight of the draft? And 5, you can join in as well. Were there any things that you did participate? I thought they had like the 40-yard dash up there. What were the highlights for you guys?
Well, when we went, they didn't have the 40-yard dash open or any of the drills. I think what happened was they were doing flag football. So they were doing a little flag football tournament. So they were doing warm-ups for those. So all I was able to see were, the field goal kicking as well. I would say that was probably the highlight, just watching random people try to kick a field goal, like a classic extra point from the 2-yard line. It's a lot harder than that looks if you don't have the tech.
To me, it was like being at Disney World, but for the NFL. Like everywhere, you couldn't do everything. Everywhere we walked, there was some new activity. The funnest part was Heinz Field was open, so we got to go into the stadium. We got to touch the grass, and the highlight was making Tree recreate the Jesse James catch on the 1-yard line. And he also kissed the grass. And it was just fun overall. And the NFL does a fantastic job of doing this every year and bringing it to a new city. Next year, it'll be in DC, in my backyard, essentially. If you guys want to come down, you have an open invite. Except for the Cowboys fan in this group.
Well,
it's in Jersey.
The draft IRL seemed like a lot of fun. But the draft virtually was also a lot of fun for us as well. A lot of unexpected moves happen. Let's just start open up to everyone. What was the most surprising thing that happened in this draft, in your opinion? Most surprising move, most surprising pick.
I dare anybody to have something other than Ty Simpson.
I have two.
Well,
I mean, we did call that in Clickbait last week. We said Ty Simpson was going in the first round. I don't know if anyone
thought later. I mean,
was going to the Rams.
I'll give you props though. You did predict Malachi Lawrence to the Cowboys.
Yep.
I did call Malachi Lawrence. That was floated to me.
That was the biggest surprise for me.
To me,
That Scooter was right about something.
shock was that Caleb Downs fell to number 12, right in the laps of America's team. I was off. I said it was going to be Sonny Styles. Little did I know Caleb Downs was going to be right there. No moving up necessary. And not only that, but the Giants passing on him twice. Are you afraid at all that this will come back to bite you in any way, shape, or form? 5?
No, because we went and did what I've been yelling at them to do for years, which is build in the trenches. And it's just a repeat of, we've got 2 players that they did that with which they picked wrong, was Neal and Thibodeau, and now we're just repeating that. But I think these guys are better, okay? And I've got to stand by my guys, and I got to believe that this was Joe Shane's last draft. But I think that the Giants cooked. Like, how much can you mess up? If these guys don't pan out, then Joe Shane will be burned in effigy for the rest of his life outside of MetLife Stadium. I think that the Giants did well. My biggest surprise, honestly, was the Jets not messing up. Everyone would say Jeremiah Love at 3, but there's counter arguments for that. But the Jets actually cooked, I think, as well in this draft.
That's very interesting takes, because I also do think the Giants cooked. Not good cooking, though. I think it was burnt, and I don't think anyone is going to look back at the Giants draft positively. We'll get into that, though. What I want to know is from Tom, what was it like not having a first-round pick? And do you think Micah Parsons was worth it? Now,
1,000,000%. Yeah, I was very happy that we got Micah Parsons still on the team. So yeah, that's worth not having a first round pick for a couple years. No, I really like what the Packers did. This was the smallest draft class that Goody has had since his tenure, because we wound up only picking 6 folks. We had 8 picks going into the day, or I should say the weekend. But yeah, we just drafted for need. And we got major position. They double dipped at corner, which is what I expected them to do. They went and got defensive tackle at their next pick. Running back is kind of the only one they didn't address, but we do still have Marshawn Lloyd. We just don't know if he really exists in real life or if he's just a tax write-off for the Packers. So yeah, going at corner, got offensive line too. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with what the Packers did.
Okay. Now,
what a nickname would that be? The tax write-off.
Sentiment. Are the Broncos fans happy with what they did in this draft?
Trees better open his eyes.
Tree's going to have to wear the gritty costume for an entire stream.
That thing is hot, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Try being a
Tom suffered for his art in the Head and Shoulders commercial.
Well, that's different, though. That was funny.
This literally almost died of heat exhaustion.
To a different person. That was so much better.
Yeah, I think we need that from Tree. What was the question, Scooter?
The question, just how do you think your team did in the draft? What are you happy about? What are you sad about? Take us through people who did not see what the Broncos
Let me
did.
ask you a question.
Ask me a question.
Welcome back, Jordan.
How much do you know about players drafted in the 3rd round and past the 3rd round?
See, it falls off at that point, actually.
Yeah.
That is
Well, you
where
know what their EPA is.
it does fall off.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I know about the players 1st through 3rd, and then the undrafted pet cats. That's that 4th through 7th round. It's a little dodgy.
It's one of those things where, and I think we all do this. This year's draft, I think a lot of us probably knew the least amount we have in a while.
Just protect. Yeah, you can say that again.
But what happens is your team drafts players, and then you make videos on those guys. So you research those players, right? And then you start talking yourself into, oh yeah, this guy's pretty good, because all you're seeing are just highlights of what they do on YouTube. It's a small sample size, but if you watch some highlights, you're like, dang, this tight end out of Utah that they took in the 7th round, it might be the next Gronk. We might have the next Gronk. So that's kind of like what I struggle with, is keeping your expectations realistic based on, draft picks that, based on where they're taken, have a harder time translating in the NFL. But I think they got interesting guys. I think everybody's most excited about running back Jonah Coleman. Feels like it was destiny for him to become a Bronco. And the tight end I'm getting excited about is Dallin Bentley. He's like 6'5", 250.
Almost sure.
Just a monster. And for like, he's huge, and the knock on him is he doesn't block that well. And I'm like, how can a man that size not block that well? But I watch him catch some passes, and he looks like a freight train. So I'm just going to assume that's my new Gronk.
That is interesting. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, if that does actually work out and Gronk is reincarnated into this tight end.
Yes.
Scooter was saying the NFC East, which division?
I thought the NFC East cooked.
That's draft.
The entire
well,
NFC East cooked.
At the chagrin of the Steelers, because Howie Roseman did a Howie Roseman thing.
Yeah.
Steelers had Mekhi Lemon lined up. They were ready to take him. They had him on the phone at 20. And then your Dallas Cowboys.
Which you're not supposed to do. You got to call him.
I know. They're probably going to get Dr. Draft Pick for it. They did it before. They did it with Faltanu, I believe, last year. Or Harmon, actually. So that's going to be a question moving forward. And then Mekhi Lemon, there's a phone call saying, like, wait, why are the Eagles calling? And whatever footage they have of Omar Khan and the reaction he has, that is currently buried in a New Mexico landfill, crushed, never to be brought up again. That is something. It's a humiliation, because unfortunately now you're in a situation where you had to go for option B, which is Max Ahanichor. And that honestly screams to me, Roderick Jones, also known as Brandon Perna's favorite player, his neck injury is a lot more serious than we thought, and he might not play again.
No, not my guy.
Yeah, I know. He was doing well last year, too. He's starting to come into his own.
Did you hear how that whole thing played out, Tree? Because
a little bit, because I remember, I think the Cowboys, partially, the Steelers were apparently pissed at the Cowboys for doing it.
So I've got the down low on what went down. So basically... Okay. And this is coming from Dallas reporters, okay?
Yeah.
So since Mike McCarthy is the head coach of the Steelers, there is still some overlap with us talking with their staff. Mm-hmm. And so what happened is that they just assumed that the Cowboys were going defense.
Yeah.
And so with that assumption, they're saying that it could have been a text between former people who used to work with McCarthy and people who are still in with the Cowboys. And so because of that, the information was leveraged to get Mekhi Lemon to the Eagles. So my question with you is...
So you're saying the Cowboys helped the Eagles get the player they wanted?
Yes. Yep. Which brings up this question. Should you ever trade with a rival team?
I think
only if you think you're winning. I don't know what the Cowboys got out of this other than giving a middle finger. Other than giving a middle finger to the Steelers, I don't think the Cowboys their pick necessarily changed all that much, did it?
We got 2 4th-round picks out of this. This is what we got. Wow. We dropped back 3 places. Picked up 2 4th-round picks, and some people are saying we kind of stuck it to McCarthy, our previous head coach.
Why would you? Why? That seems weird. Why would you help out the Eagles though? F the Eagles, man. What are you doing?
So
Stop.
here's the
I
thing.
think like
type of
Cowboys
beef
were
is this?
intoxicated with Malachi Lawrence, but they didn't want to draft him that high. So pull back a few spots, get a couple picks. I think that's what they were thinking. It's not that they were thinking, oh, the Eagles were going to take their wide receiver to replace AJ Brown. They're just thinking, oh, cool, let's get a few 4th-round picks and still get the guy we want.
Maybe they want to facilitate. Maybe they want to speed up that AJ Brown trade.
Well,
That's the
here's
only
thing.
level of chess I think they're playing.
I do have to ask a question. Are the Patriots seriously going to give a 1st-round pick for AJ Brown at this
Yes.
stage?
Yes.
I
So
think
That's
so.
crazy.
in the same way the Jonathan Grenard deal, which I spoke about, was basically a done deal and went through on draft day, the AJ Brown deal is pretty much a done deal in the same manner. They will be trading a 1st, and I don't know if it's going to be more than a 1st. I was hearing a 1st and an additional pick. I don't know what the reports are now, but that is pretty much a done deal.
Especially
My
for
problem
like
You're
is-
missing your calling.
What's
I think
that?
you should be an NFL insider.
Yeah.
I think you need to be an NFL insider.
Yeah, I mean, there's an opening at the Athletic. Just saying. You replace Diana Rossini?
Ooh.
Scooter
Scooter Magruder spotted at luxury romantic
Rossini.
resort with Brian.
going to
Schottenheimer.
Sedona Scoots?
Mhm.
Here's my thing.
Which
And this is
coach
why I
would
think,
you
this is why I
get
think the
close
Cowboys
with,
did
Scooter?
this trade. Mekhi
Who?
Lemon is 5'11". AJ Brown is 6'3".
Who's 5'11"?
Mekhi Lemon, the receiver that the Eagles drafted.
Yeah. I know who he is.
Okay, so I think the Cowboys were not afraid of the Eagles taking this player. In fact, we spurred it on with this trade, and the fact that we have Caleb Downs is going to save us so much headache.
It should at least help out with their passing game. That
Going
was
in the
huge
future.
last year.
How tall
So-
is Jackson Smith and Jigba? I think he's
I think
6
like
feet tall.
5'11", 6 foot.
Yeah, I think
feet.
he's around 5'11".
Okay, listen.
Too.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. You can name a handful. Devontae Smith.
Oh,
I
he's
mean,
6 foot.
Puka Nacua.
6 feet. Yeah.
But
That means
those
he's
are the
actually 5'11".
exceptions,
Yes.
not the case. Also, AJ Brown is a huge target. So you're going from a jump ball receiver to a 5'11" jump ball receiver. So I don't know. I just don't know how it's going to play out. A lot of people are saying the Eagles did get a steal by taking Mekhi Lemon that late. My question to you is, who do you think is the biggest steal of this whole draft?
First
Ty
round,
Simpson.
I love Bain to the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
I
that
like what they
works
did in
out.
their draft, but man, I mean they've needed a pass rusher, and for one of the best ones, like the best prospects to fall to them, I really like Bain to the Bucs.
He had that Jalen Carter style fall, like a couple reasons. One legitimate one that was like a couple years ago, but at the same time, he did fall in their lap, and he's going to have that chip on the shoulder as well. So, and they've needed an elite edge rusher since Shaq Barrett faded.
They've needed
out.
one.
Like Joe Tryon didn't really work out. They've had a few other guys. Hassan Reddick hasn't really been the same, but as I said, they need something there. And
Did
if
you
Ruben
see
Baines
him taking his hat?
Oh yeah,
It's just-
he was.
He is locked in. I heard from a lot of Bucks reporters that he is a no-nonsense type of guy, and that is duly noted going forward for their social media endeavors. They put that in their back pocket. Perna or 5, the steal of this draft is, finish the sentence.
This hurts to say, but I think, Caleb Downs falling to the Cowboys at 11, that was very fortunate that you would get Downs at that position. I thought you would have to settle for, somebody that you didn't need. And also, I like what the Chiefs did. I like them trading up and getting Mansour Delane. I thought that was a sneaky need-filling move by the Chiefs. So I thought they stole one there as well.
Perna, before I say mine, do you want to go?
I was trying to find who I called the biggest steal of the entire draft. I made a video about it. I said the man's name. I can't remember.
Listen,
Yeah,
that was a couple
honestly,
videos.
I would say Dylan
Somebody's
Thieneman.
burnt out.
I
Yeah.
would say that one worked out.
Would you say
pretty well.
Tree?
Dylan Thieneman to the Bears?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
I
would
would say
say that one was a
EMW
pretty
to
good
the
one.
Browns. Like just talking
Yeah,
about
that was a
safeties,
big
too.
one.
Like he fell a few spots.
I
I'm
think
going to go in a completely different direction here. And I'm going to go first pick of the 4th round, Jermod McCoy to the Raiders.
He's healthy.
Wow.
If the injury issues were a concern too, I believe.
I mean, listen, that is great value. A lot of fourth-round picks do not play out regardless. So if you're getting that with such value, I think after the third round, they thought he was going to go in the third round because after the third round, the money's not guaranteed and you can get out of the contracts like that. But to get Jermod McCoy at the top of the fourth round, and they only had to trade up one spot to get him. I mean, the Raiders aren't trying to go to the Super Bowl tomorrow. This is a case where if there is need for another surgery or anything like that, he's going to have the time to rehabilitate. But we'll see how it plays out.
This is this is one Will and I were talking about earlier today, and it's not like it's
Kraken.
It's kind of a weird steal, but where the Chiefs were able to grab Garrett Nussmeier in the 7th round, that's actually like a really good value pick. And Will was talking about like in the offseason process, they found a cyst or something on his spine, and like you said that was probably why you played like shit last year. Like if you've got something like that on your spine, you get that taken care of. And I also like the Chiefs added the running back that they added, Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska late. That was one of the running backs we were kind of looking at, for Denver, but those were fresh in my mind because I just did the AFC West, but and Nussmeier's not going to play in Kansas City behind Mahomes, unless the injury takes longer to heal, and then they put Justin Fields out there and he's terrible, and then they got to go to him. But for backup,
I like what you're thinking. I like the late round Flyers. The Eagles also, unfortunately, took a Nigerian who has limited football experience, but is built like an absolute tank in the 7th round. So they do have experience taking multiple sport players or non-sport players in the past and making something with them. We'll see how that plays out.
I heard his combine numbers were like ridiculous. Like he had like the highest vertical leap, like the best cone all the time. Like he's just a freak. And you can't, sometimes you can't pass on that. One thing that I did learn about the NFL draft is that, that up to 30% of the rosters in a season will be undrafted free agents. And yeah, so the draft is not the end all be all. They love signing guys. A lot of times they don't even want to waste a pick. They're like, we know you'll make this team.
And they'll make more money.
Like that record. They have a streak of of the amount of years where they're an undrafted guy winds up making the roster.
Yeah, because they know he's a psychopath that will do it. He's like sleeping in the basement of the stadium, and they're like, okay, this guy really wants this job.
And you can also
before we go to the next thing, what do you guys think of Pavia and the Ravens?
21 years.
Undrafted free agents.
21.
Hold on, that's a good thing to talk about. Let me show this.
Okay.
Because this plays off what Scooter was saying. And this is from Brian Nemhauser. But this is like a chart of, and there's been a lot of talk about like the consensus big board, right? That like where players are graded on the spectrum of all the grades. And so he started to put together this dates back to 2016 is data based on what teams are drafting and where it kind of falls on the draft value chart. And this is for 2026. So like based on based on value, the Colts got the best value with all their picks. Denver up there at 4. And then it shows, and this goes with what we have learned over the past few days, like the bottom 2 are Jacksonville and San Francisco, who've kind of gotten dragged for reaching on their picks.
Hey, San Francisco's using the power of AI. Just saying.
Yeah.
Intelligence,
Show me which do they just have ChatGPT? Tell me which prospects have the hottest girlfriends. Do they run this back though for years and then actually analyze the steals? You know, like
it goes back to 2016.
But not that for that particular year, but the cumulative from that year to present day. Like if you look at 5 years ago, who were the actual steals, or is it just what they're? Oh, okay.
So you can select the team, and so like you can go by team. You can change that up here, and then it shows like each year where they were drafting, right? And I started looking at this because I was writing about the Seahawks. And towards those last few years, Russ was there. They were not very good at drafting. And now they've been one of the best drafting teams over like the last 5 years. And if you look, their reaches are like
super reaches.
Their reaches are within reason, right? It's a few points in terms of like, I think like anything 20 and under, I don't even think it should qualify as a reach, but I was focusing on it to look at the Seahawks specifically because they've been so good. And then I was like, oh, this is a really cool thing to just kind of get a gauge on where
that is
they
pretty
have players
cool.
Graded. But
who's the biggest thief of all time in this draft? Like, does it say like who consistent?
I don't know if they have like a league view for the total of the last 8 year or 10 years. You'd have to calculate that probably on your own with players, but I thought it was a cool thing to look at.
And also, do you guys believe that a little bit of luck factors into reach versus steal? Like sometimes a guy can't miss and he misses.
Luck, fit, system, coaches. If you keep coaches, and even like right now, like everybody's looking at all these picks. There's probably, there's like a 5th round guard out there. Nobody's talking about, nobody cares about. Not even going to start for the team that drafted him this year, but like in 2 to 3 years, he starts to fill in for a guard that gets hurt, and then he solidifies himself as the next guard that team, has on their roster. Probably not the highest paid guard, but it's a success story. So yeah, you can really get in the weeds on draft and where players are taken, how valuable they are, what they mean to the team, everything that could go wrong to mess up their career. But I just like to focus on the guys my team took and pretend like they're the best. That's the way you move forward.
Yeah.
As we all should.
I think I saw somebody tweet. It was like a guy, and it was like within one of the draft consensus big board debates. And he's like, I miss just waking up, reading my newspaper, and learning about the players my team drafted.
Yeah, it does seem like... Let me ask you guys this. I feel like this draft, I saw the most mock drafts I have ever seen in my life before the draft actually happened. It seems like the more connected we are, the more mock drafts are hitting the timeline every other day.
The funniest one I saw had Jeremiah Love going to the Giants at 5. That was very funny for me. I was like, yeah, okay.
You guys had 2 first rounders. That's why. Like people are super excited about that.
I've already seen 2 2027 mock drafts already.
Arch Manning.
Out of control. But in the same vein, I would like to do a little thought experiment with you guys.
Oh, okay.
Why don't we predict right now who the offensive or the offensive rookie of the year and offensive and defensive rookie of the year will be in this upcoming season?
I wonder who you're going to pick, Scooter. I'm very curious, man. I have no idea.
I have no idea who the defensive rookie. I can see Carnell Tate. I could see Carnell Tate being the offensive rookie of the year. He's going to get targeted a lot. He's going to be, he's going to put up numbers. And Cam Ward had a lot of guys just drop passes in his face last year. And all Carnell Tate has to do is catch him. And I think he's going to put up numbers. He might not be fundamentally the best offensive player, but I think he'll take that.
I like it.
Yeah, I see. The only thing that I'm very happy that they got a weapon, but I just want Cam Ward to be safe. I just want him to have an offensive line to be able to throw. I like Cam Ward a lot. I think defensive could be Styles. I think he could put up some numbers on that Commanders defense. I feel if we're going wide receiver, Jordan Tyson is an interesting one to the Saints because you already have Chris Olave, who I think is going to get a lot of attention from defenses. So maybe this is going to give him an opportunity to get a ton of receptions. I could see it. And if Shuck is the guy, we all Shuck.
Obviously, we know who the.
What do you think, Brandon?
Rookie.
Yeah, it's not. It's Arvell Reese.
It's going to be Arvell Reese.
Linebacker out of Ohio State. Run stopper.
Could be Sonny Styles.
Let me ask you something.
Pass rusher.
Are you not upset that you guys didn't get Sonny Styles instead of Arvell Reese? Because I saw a lot of Giants fans online upset with the fact that they got Reese instead of Styles.
Well, it just goes to whatever philosophy John Harbaugh wants to run. Reese was graded as the better run stopper, and Styles the better pass defender. And so it's clear that Harbaugh wants to focus on stopping the run. So whatever their mentality, I think you can't. I think it was a 50-50. They probably had equivalent value according to all their scores, and it's just what philosophy they wanted to go with there. So I'm not really upset about Sonny Styles. I honestly thought things were going to play a little differently. I thought it would be Downs and Styles. I thought it would be.
Did you even consider Reese was going to be on the board when you guys were picking?
We also did not think that. Well, I did not think that. I was surprised that the Cardinals jumped at Jeremiah Love because most consensus draft experts had them taking Reese at, or doing something much smarter, or taking I can't say this name, Maui Goa. Maui. I don't know where you get the N from there.
Yeah,
Maui Noah.
It's Maui Noah. I know
Maui Noah
about it.
Maui Noah. I also didn't think he would be there. So I don't think that Joe Shane thought he would be there. So they were like, hey, we got to take the best rated tackle in this draft. So they did, because Evan Neal, him busting, quote unquote, has created problems for this team.
All right, I got two crazy ones for you.
Okay.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Arizona Cardinals quarterback Carson Beck.
Oh my God.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my God.
It's going to hold out. Not even going to start week 1. Carson Beck comes in and just lights it up.
Gardner Minshew.
Clip it. Someone clip this.
You're not going to get...
Here's another crazy one. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Texas A&M edge rusher Cassius Howell for the Cincinnati Bengals. Nobody thought this guy could come in and replace Trey Hendrickson's production, but he does tenfold. Well, not tenfold, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
20-fold.
I like it. Those are ambitious picks, and there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, it's hard. Like when you're looking for offensive Rookie of the Year, it's like you're trying to find a team with like a high-powered offense that grabbed a skill player, a receiver, or a running back that you think can go in there and make a difference. But it's like I feel like a lot of teams that you'd be looking at for that kind of went defense heavy in the draft or drafted more on the defensive side of the ball.
Let's go, Kyle. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Kyle, but no.
Kyle?
You guys, okay. Without Googling, who was the offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year last year? No cheating.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, they had, hold on.
Well, it was Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson.
No.
And I think defense was Sauce Gardner.
Yep.
This
I
is
think you're a few years off.
2025. Yeah. You're off. I see there's some ball knowers in the chat.
Linebacker from the Browns.
Correct.
Yeah,
that's good.
Is
Cody Schlesinger.
I can never pronounce his name.
Mhm.
Schwarzinger.
And then who was the OR?
Oh, that's because it was between there was two
Teteroa
wide receivers.
McMillan?
It was the Buccaneers guy, and then it was the Carolina Panthers guy. So it's Teteroa
Was,
McMillan.
Yes.
T-Mac.
That's why I believe that what's his name is going to be Carnell Tate, because Bryce Young just fed that dude. He
Listen,
was like,
sometimes
"Here, eat."
Carnell Tate's a good pick.
Sometimes the answer is right in front of your face, guys. And I think Jeremiah Love is going to come in and get
that's a
fed
good
the
one.
They're going
rock
to feed him. That's the problem.
52
they are
times
gonna feed
per game.
As I said, the thing,
Ruin
once
his
again, they
career.
did this with Ashton Ginty, and he just went nowhere because they didn't have a line. That's the problem I have.
I
with
don't
Cardinals
know if
picking Jeremiah.
Arizona is in a similar position line-wise.
Oh, they
As
were.
the
I mean,
Raiders-
They
got
have
the
Paris
Sanchez
Johnson. They don't
They
have
could have
much else,
been.
though. They have a bunch of moving parts.
I'm still going Jeremiah Love for my offensive rookie of the year. And if
It'll
for
be Carson
some
Beck
reason,
helping him.
if for some reason Caleb Downs is not the defensive rookie of the year, it's because he got injured. And if that's the reason, my secondary pick would be Dylan Thieneman at safety.
Ooh,
That's
coming
not a bad
over
pick.
Caleb Downs.
No, that's if Caleb Downs gets injured, obviously.
the
Listen,
only thing
Oh,
is
okay.
that
What?
they usually don't give a lot of love to safeties. Like that's just they usually just don't get a whole lot of
It's a
respect.
linebacker
in
or an
general.
edge that
Yeah,
has
usually like an
that's
edge
true.
rusher or like a
but if
corner.
this man
or,
comes in with 8 picks his rookie year, I don't know. We might
Yeneman, man, he's in that ball hawk secondary.
we might be
The
changing our
Caucasian
tunes.
collision unit, you mean?
I think Thieneman can have an impact
okay.
similar to what's the cornerback on the Broncos that we did not take over Micah Parsons?
Patrick Surtain.
Surtain.
Patrick
PS2?
Surtain.
Yeah,
He can
heard
have a
about him.
Patrick Surtain like effect on that defense.
By the way, Scoots, last time a safety has won Defensive Rookie of the Year was Mark Carrier for the Chicago Bears in 1990.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
Yeah,
Times
you remember
are
the 90s,
a-changing.
don't you?
Times
that's where you
are
live.
changing.
Mm-hmm.
Stars are wild in the next round. Yeah, Perna, stars
is
are
this?
wild in the next round.
Stars or can we talk about what's that guy's
Stars are
name?
wild.
The Steeler Jennings Dunker? Is that his?
Oh,
What is
Jennings Dunker,
Jennings
the
Dunker.
legend of legends. That man is a instant Hall of Famer with just the mullet, the mustache. It's truly beautiful stuff. And he also is a hail bale throwing champion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me
That
ask you
tracks
guys
so
this.
hard.
Yeah,
If
the
you
only
were
downside I have with that pick is that he always has Culver's as a post-game meal. There is no Culver's in the Pittsburgh area. So I believe they're going to rectify this. They're going to put a Culver's in Southside Works
There you
in
go.
3 months so he can get his post-game meal.
Here's my question to you guys. If you were the consensus #1 pick in the 2027 draft, you're coming out of college, you just won the national championship, you're going #1,
That's true.
probably to the Giants. Would you go in the green room for the draft, or would you have it in the confines of your house amongst family and friends? What are you doing?
That's a good question, Scoots.
That is a good question.
Good
I like
question.
that, Scoots. Obviously Mendoza stayed at home. He wanted to celebrate this with his close family and friends in the most sterile looking party I've ever seen. Like, how many boxes of wine was at the Mendoza house that night?
Dude, you
And
guys
his
are
mom has
talking
MS, so I
about
think
fun.
that's
What are
why
you talking
that.
Yeah, that's the
Rob
other
was
thing. That's another that would play out the decision. I think I'd want to go, right? I think you'd want to walk out that stage, hug Roger Goodell, look out
It's
at
an
all.
iconic moment.
Yeah, it's something that you'll remember. Like, you can't take away a memory.
Get to
Might
walk
be
across the draft
pretty
stage
unique.
is pretty cool,
And
Yeah.
Fernando
salty
Mendoza,
boots
he's not the first one to do this. If you look back, Trevor Lawrence also had his at his place. Baker Mayfield also
Yes.
did not attend the draft.
I
as
did
well.
feel
21
very bad
was
for
also
Jordan.
very So that was
I did feel bad for Jordan Tyson when he came out, and I believe he spit accidentally. As he unleashed a snot rocket like right in the green room tunnel, and I felt bad because as much as we want to say we don't remember that happened, I still remember that kid that farted in 5th grade in class. Was it Chris Berry was his name. He just farted right in class. I'm not forgetting. I'm not. It was cringe.
Not even like a poop. He just farted?
Yeah, we were doing the remember the presidential fitness challenge, and you had to do the sit-ups, and he farted in the middle of the sit-up challenge, and we all laughed and got disqualified. None of us could complete it, and the timer, the dude who was timing it, the PE teacher, wouldn't let us start over, and we were all dying of laughter because Mike Berry farted during the sit-up challenge, and that's why I don't forget it. I was mad. That's why I didn't get presidential fitness that year.
That's
or any other year.
Teacher. That just
He was a
reflects
jerk
purely on him. Your whole class failed this challenge. What have you been doing to help them get there?
That's crazy.
I didn't give him a fart pass. That's what I didn't do.
Yeah, he's like, you got to follow the rules.
The older you get, the more you sympathize with a moment like that.
Perna, are you attending the draft, or are you staying home with family and friends?
I am attending the draft against the draft's will, and I'm staying there until the 7th round when I am actually drafted.
Okay. What if you're not
I will demand to be
you're not drafted. You're there when they take it down.
Ooh, who's taller?
I'm not leaving.
Who's taller, Pavia or Perna?
Pavia,
probably maybe Perna. I mean,
dude, I
so Pavia's 5'2"
for being
Did
short.
you guys see that
He's a good
YouTuber
3
who got
inches taller than
banned?
me, probably.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that YouTuber who got banned because he went up on stage and made a fake pic?
I saw like a flashing thing about
you
that.
guys,
were you guys there
man,
when that
I wish.
happened?
Let me see if I have this. No, we did not see that. However, during day 1, it was about 6 p.m. or day 2, it was about 6 p.m. We were all chilling. We were waiting for the draft. And then Roger Goodell comes out. And he's like, with the first pick in the NFL draft, the Cleveland Browns select Johnny O'Rourke. And everyone in the draft thought it was real. Like, we were like, oh, they're starting early. And we're all looking, and they're like, quarterback, Ohio State. And we're like arguing, we're like, who is this guy? He never even played. We don't know anything about it. I'm like, guys, I think we got. I think there's something's wrong here. And then he came out and did it again. And we're like, okay. So they did 2 takes on it. And it was for some movie or some stunt of some kind, but we got. We did get because we were like, who is Johnny O'Rourke?
Meanwhile, there's like some person be like, well, Johnny actually put up some really good stats last year, and he was a sleeper pick of mine.
His name was Scooter.
He's got great underlying stats, great intangibles, good potential.
And nobody knows more about Johnny O'Rourke.
Like a piece of clay.
This question I have is for
there were Browns fans that were clapping after that pick too.
Like another quarterback.
He would probably win that training camp battle for QB. Just saying.
He might.
No, there was actual like we were like, I guess they're done with Dylan Gabriel, and then we're like, wait a minute.
So this question goes to Brandon Perna and
I'll let him know.
Grassi specifically. What do you think the NFL can do to improve the draft experience on television? Because it seems like a lot of the picks were lagging. We even heard on one of the hot mics, one of the announcers saying, get on with it. It seems like them doing these like fan introductions and like glitz and glamour.
I don't think that was the problem. I think the problem is so they reduced the timer. It used to be 10 minutes for each pick in the first round. They knocked it down to 8, but they keep the same level of ads and commercials. Like there's less time for actual analysis. And on top of that, it seems like there's more ads because the amount of times where like a team was about to pick and there's like, nope, we got to go to commercial. And those commercials were long.
Yeah,
I feel like
that was at least like 3-4 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, this is taking forever. What is going on here?
Yeah. You know, when they walk down the tunnel in the first round and they go and they stop and do the hat thing in the mirror.
Yeah.
Get rid of that shit. Don't need to see him put on a hat. Instead, I want a beer bong there, and I want a timer for how quickly they rip the beer bong. And I think that should factor into bonuses on their rookie deal. The quicker you beer bong, you get an extra $150,000 per second you knock off that time. Also, we know who's actually ready for the NFL, who actually partied in college, and who can handle making a little money at the next level. That would be my first thing. Second thing, I want a mic on him, and I want him to say weird stuff to Roger Goodell when they go in to shake his hand.
You
or
smell
get a hug
great.
from him. Like, I want one guy to go in there and bring him in and just whisper in his ear, I know it was you, Fredo. Just mess with him a little bit.
I know what you did last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
I got you.
Those are my
You
two.
smell
big
like a
suggestions
summer
off the
day.
top of my head.
It just for some reason it feels like it's getting longer, even though despite what Tom just said, the timer actually is short.
Well, they cut an hour
was
from the
3 hours.
broadcast.
It was still
It's
3 hours for the first time.
Yeah.
It felt like it was 9 hours for some
Did you
reason.
remember back in the 90s, like the NFL draft, they used to do like 2 rounds, I believe, in the first night, and it would take until 1 or 2.
Dude, they were
It would
long.
Yeah.
the clocks were 15 minutes back in those.
And they would take the full
We were
amount of
sitting there waiting
time.
for the Steelers, and they'd be waiting, and we'd just be ready to go to sleep. They wouldn't pick till like 11:30 midnight, and this was back in Radio City Music Hall. Would you imagine that happening now? Nobody would be staying for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and there were no leaks. There weren't any leaks, so at least that part there weren't the spoilers and all that crap. But yeah, and remember that year that the Vikings just forgot to pick and they just wasted the complete 15-minute slot.
Yeah,
like, have you ever
I
done
remember.
a fantasy draft? Have you ever seen a fantasy draft where you guys are all drafting from home and one jackass has it on auto, but he has the complete timer take and then it auto picks for him? Have you? Yeah, and then you're just like, dude, you're a freaking jerk. Like, just don't show up to the fantasy draft.
I think a team should be forced to skip their pick. That would be fun. I think Shedeur Sanders should have to be in every single draft for the next 10 years.
So they can watch his downfall.
I think, dude, if Shedeur gets to play for the year and then he gets to go back in the draft and we get to guess which round he's going to go in every year. Also, that Vikings draft pick, they submitted for a trade, and then I think it was with the Ravens, and then the Ravens never confirmed it, and that's why they missed that pick.
Interesting.
Because they thought they had executed a trade, and then they didn't.
Is there anything else about the NFL draft that you guys want to talk about? Surprises, things that we haven't gotten to yet?
Nope.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, Trace Mack.
I think they should pick someone randomly from the crowd and then. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, Packers, they should sign Brian Anger and make the ultimate kicker punter do it. I'm sorry. Mack and Anger?
No, but we're wheeling and dealing. I love wheeling.
I have an improvement. I think they should pick one person from the crowd attending the draft and then draft them, and then they get to go on and play in the NFL. Just like a lottery of some kind, and then
you remember?
You just go in and
Like
you're like, oh, I'm on the Browns now.
Do you remember the Dallas Cowboys reality TV show 4th and Long, and the winner was signed to the Cowboys?
No,
This is
honestly,
a real show
I
that I
don't,
watched.
but that tracks so hard for the Cowboys.
And the guy who was on the show, I actually follow on Twitter, and I didn't realize it was him, 4th and Long. He was actually decent. Like, he was pretty good.
Did he make the roster?
Yes. We literally signed him to the team. Jesse Holly. Look it up.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, why don't we have innovative things like this happening in today's age? Do you know how good that show would do?
TV. That tracks.
Do you know how good a show like that on Netflix would do right now?
Yeah, it was called The Ultimate Fighter, and
Jesse
they haven't
Holly.
done anything like that.
He also has to simultaneously be trying to make the Cowboys while being on Love Island.
Yeah. And he did play in North Carolina.
Yes.
He wasn't exactly some rando off the street.
Oh, he played a little.
Yeah, he played 4 years in North Carolina.
Well, yeah, they probably picked 10 guys that are all of margin or of equivalent value.
I watched the show. It was a great show. I was like,
he
my
went
gosh,
through
this is
training
crazy.
camp before. He was with the Bengals in 2007.
Look, I didn't know any of that when I'm
About
watching the
6
show.
weeks.
I thought this was just a random dude that they picked
CFL.
up, and it was dope. I think they should bring back reality television like that.
Quote
Each
unquote.
team should have their own person trying out, and have a Netflix series.
That's called Diego Pavilla's life. That's what it is.
In other news, QB for the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson is on the fast track to be the starter. Immediate thoughts and reactions.
You dare smite Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders? His fan base is going to be pissed. But please start. Please
Jesse
start.
Hollins had 7 targets, 7 receptions for 169 yards over 2 seasons, and that was it.
I mean, that's more than some.
Yeah, there's a lot of people don't even make an NFL roster.
I was rooting for him so hard. I was like, oh my
God. You got an emotional attachment.
Like, if he can do it,
him.
I can do it. Let's go.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, like him staying on the roster makes sense because the Browns have to pay him regardless because it's a fully guaranteed contract. So I get that, but man, if he is the best option coming out of camp, and especially after I was praising the Cleveland Browns, man. It seemed like a lot of people were very happy with their draft. I think they got a lot of value. I really like what they did. Per and I were talking about this. It feels like they are a quarterback away. They just cannot get a quarterback, and that's tough.
Their O-line is also going through a lot of turmoil and overhauling, so there is that. I mean, they're losing Bitonio, Jack Conklin, and Wyatt Teller. I mean, they did draft Spencer Fano and a couple other guys too, but at the same time, there's still a lot of flux there as well.
Listen, Deshaun Masterson has been built out of Legos the last 3 years. Something will happen to him. He's not been healthy. But what happens if he comes back and has like an all-pro year, and then you're just like, oh God,
that's gonna be
what now?
Oh yeah, they got the
sold his soul to the devil.
Former Packer Elton Jenkins. He's with
the Browns.
Yep, he did. Zion Johnson too.
Tevin Jenkins too. Man, they're one Jenkins away from being able to compete with the Cowboys. Tyler's
Great Wall of Tyler.
Yep.
The Great Wall of Tyler.
Calais Campbell's still going, man.
Yeah.
That was a good deal too. Like a lot of people were saying, why didn't the Cowboys do that? One year, $5 million.
Oh yeah, the Browns' backup center is Luke Weipler. That dude, if you're a center and your last name's Weipler, you better be a starter. That is a tragedy.
Okay. Any other NFL news? Has come out.
Sponsorship for Luke Weipler.
I just want to say, I don't know if there's any more NFL news. But we will now enter the dark period of the depths of the off season. Tom will be traveling around the United States again. I will be, when you come to DC, we'll come and maybe you'll give me another pack of Hostess cupcakes or whatever you and Barks offered me. And then I tried to give to someone who was, I tried to give it to someone on the street and they're like, nah, I'm good.
Like, we don't
then we're just going to get deep into like even mini OTAs or whatever. None of that stuff excites me.
The big thing is
schedule release. Yeah, who cares? We just wait around for the Chargers to come out with their elite anime video or whatever they do. But who cares? All right.
I'll give you $1,000, Tom, to donate. If when you get to the Jaguars Stadium, you drink a full cup of water out of the Jags pool.
I mean, they're renovating it now, so
I don't get into that pool.
Yeah, they're coming for Orlando.
Drink water.
They will be playing in Orlando.
Also $1,000. Yeah, I don't think that's worth whatever I'm going to contract from that because it's going to be.
Are you actually? Are you actually going to get into MetLife this year, Tom?
MetLife, I'm actually not. So the only thing is, the World Cup is going on, but the only overlap is in Philadelphia. But I actually have contacts now at MetLife from the last time, so I'm hoping that I get. But I've also been in MetLife before. Like it's.
But they had a little egg on there. They were just like, "Don't come in here." They treated you like G-Fed. They were like, "No, you're not allowed."
There.
So basically, what I'm hearing is we will definitely be doing Clickbait Sports every week.
Every week.
We will have so much to talk about,
as we always do. You can expect greatness from this pod.
Some great moments happened in the off season.
And if there's not anything else, I think we can head.
We got to do the countdown.
Yeah, we got to do the countdown. I'm going to go hide now.
We should book a 5-way guy retreat in Sedona, Arizona.
Ooh, a 5-way. Okay.
It's a
Oh, it's still not the great countdown. It's so world champions. We're counting down. I just realized, Trees, it says Aller Tree. I just realized you changed your name on there.
Yeah, I changed it. I needed to embrace
4 minutes for me to notice. That's good.
and service for life, baby.
3, 2,
Also,
1.
shout out
I'm
to Eli
5 points,
Heinrich.
Reese. I got $22. Did not win.
I got 92.97.
Ooh,
5Ks are
nice.
fun. 5Ks are nice. There's a nice stretch between distance and also
Ooh,
obstacles.
happy birthday, Adam.
171.49 is what I made. 171.
Ooh, I think we know who won.
Yeah,
49.98.
How much?
49.98.
Wow, sub 50 for Brandon.
I made
What the fuck, guys?
24.97.
Where's my
How
money?
much?
500.
What? Say it again.
24.97 plus $500. So my 24.97. I tried to pretend
I thought you were saying like 2,400. I was like, did I miss those? Good God.
Yeah, we got $500. All right, gritty costume in 2 months when we actually do a show. You got to wear the gritty costume. Actually, go get it right now as a preview for everyone.
It's upstairs.
Because
Crap.
go get it.
I don't want to
run
go. I want to go upstairs.
Go get it.
Hurry. You can buy the costume.
I
Or-
want to know why his gritty costume is upstairs. There's no reason to bring it upstairs in his house other than
Where he
the
stores his
girlfriend.
finer things.
I'm just saying the girlfriend was like, ooh, put the gritty mask on.
What do you guys have coming out on
That's
your
freaky.
channel?
What part of my sentence made you think it was time to start talking, Adam?
I'm sorry, man. I have
You
impulse
guys have no
control
respect.
issues.
What do you guys have
No
coming
respect.
out on your channel?
That was the most substitute teacher I've ever heard, Perna, in my life.
Here's the thing. I brought it up because I needed storage. I didn't think I needed to bring it back again. For the love of God.
I think I have that same outfit.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. You're probably a furry. I understand.
No, like I had to buy it for a punishment for something. Like I'm pretty
gritty
sure I have
thing?
the exact same
I
gritty
think
outfit.
you had to buy the Eagles costume, if I remember correctly.
No. It is gritty. I literally wore the gritty costume.
I think he did. We've been punished. We've done this show for so long. How long have we done this? Since 2020, right? 2019.
You won, I believe.
We've
21.
jumped the shark multiple times.
We have jumped and humped the shark. Did you want to say something, Brandon?
No, you probably saved me from making a dumb joke. So it's all good.
Okay, good. All right. I am coming out with the weirdest stadiums in the world right after this. It is in the hopper. It is ready to go. It is coming out like an hour after this. You got to let the algorithm die a little bit after a live stream. You can't really. Have you guys seen that where you release like right after this show? Does the video tank or does it not make a difference?
It doesn't matter. Done that.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore.
Yeah. All right.
Everything
Nothing
is
does matter.
If
Yeah,
you don't
especially
have
in this
Mike
time
Vrabel in the
period.
title, it's not doing numbers today, buddy.
Yeah.
Pavia or Vrabel? Those are your only two options.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia puts up numbers, my man, and not
He
just
does.
on the height or the drama.
What do you have coming out, Tree?
Well, I've got a few things coming out. I've got a video on Diana Rossini that should be out probably tomorrow.
Oh, that's gonna eat. Mhm.
Well, maybe we'll see. And then I have a draft vlog, I believe, coming on the side channel. And then I'm working on the 2021 NFL Draft Revisit. I was hoping to get this out last week, but I just had so much going on with the Penn stream.
What is your side channel?
Well, I'm planning it. So
Tree of
it's
urinating.
still on the plot.
Tree of urinating?
Yeah, it's
Aller
defecating
tree.
shrub. Defecating shrub.
Oh,
matters?
well,
If that is less brand friendly,
Doesn't
somehow
matter.
less brand friendly than urinating tree is defecating
Oh.
shrub.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's
Arno,
gets
what
the
is
kids
releasing on
running
your
wild.
channel?
I did a AFC West draft thing. You can watch that.
I'll be on the lookout.
Stadiums of Vrabel.
I
did.
got a scripted. I'm hoping to have out tomorrow. I just have to do some more things with it. So yeah,
fair.
if the draft was scripted,
If the draft was scripted,
And we
it was
got
scripted.
the NFC East meeting for the draft coming up. Be on the lookout for that. Say I won't audition for Big Brother right now.
You won't audition
You should.
for Big
You-
Brother.
I thought
If
you
you
were
were
on
single,
Survivor.
you'd be.
I auditioned.